What if I told you that your 20s are the single most important decade of your life for building wealth? And here's the crazy part. Most people waste it chasing the wrong goals. Now trust me, this video is not to take away all the great things you enjoy in your early years in life. But the truth is, every decision you make right now, how you spend, save, and invest, can either set you up for financial freedom or leave you struggling for decades to come. Listen carefully. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear step-by-step blueprint to not just survive, but thrive, and start building real wealth in your 20s. Here's the bottom line. If you think you're too young to start, think again. The earlier you take control, the more power you have. So without wasting any more time, let's dive in. Part 1. Why your 20s are the wealth-building sweet spot. Your 20s are often called the defining decade, and for good reason. It's not just about your career or relationships, it's about the financial habits you develop that will shape the rest of your life. Let me introduce you to two friends, Alex and Chris. Alex starts saving $200 a month at age 22. By the time Alex turns 30, they've saved $19,200. But here's the magic. Because of compound interest, by the time Alex hits 60, that small amount has grown to over $400,000. Even if they stop investing at 30. Chris, on the other hand, waits until 30 to start saving. They invest the same $200 a month for 30 years, yet their account only grows to $240,000. So what's the difference? Starting early. Your 20s are your secret weapon, giving you time to let compound interest work its magic. Why do most people miss this opportunity? You see, most people don't think long-term in their 20s. They're too focused on living paycheck to paycheck, upgrading their lifestyle, or avoiding financial decisions altogether. Seems like they're all about social media and how your friends perceive you. But if you can shift your mindset and see your 20s as a foundation of wealth, you'll be miles ahead of everyone else. Now, I've only revealed part 1. I'm just getting started. Listen carefully. What I'm about to share next will be the most important decision you'll have to make in your 20s. That will separate you from the rest of your peers. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Part 2. The mindset shift that changes everything. Live like no one else now, so you can live like no one else later. This quote by financial guru Dave Ramsey perfectly captures the mindset you need. Building wealth in your 20s isn't about deprivation. It's about prioritizing freedom over fleeting pleasures. So what is the problem with lifestyle inflation? Here's a trap most people fall into. The moment they start making money, they start spending more. It's called lifestyle inflation. You get a raise and suddenly you're upgrading your car, moving into a nicer apartment, or splurging on expensive vacations. But here's the truth. Wealth isn't built by how much you earn. It's built by how much you keep. There's a story about a janitor named Ronald Reed, who quietly amassed an $8 million fortune. How did he do it? It's simply by living frugally, investing consistently, and never falling into the trap of showing off wealth. Meanwhile, the flashy executives driving luxury cars often end up drowning in debt. So what exactly is the lesson here? Stop caring about what people think. Focus on building, not broadcasting. The moment you let go of how you are perceived on the internet is the moment you start to realize that no one even cared in the first place. Your future is determined by the actions that you take today. Part 3. The blueprint to building wealth in your 20s. Let's break this down into actionable steps you can start implementing today. Step 1. Master your budget. The first step to wealth is knowing where your money is going. Most people have no idea. Track everything. Use apps like Mint, YNAB, or even a simple spreadsheet to track your income and expenses. Create a 50-30-20 budget. Allocate 50% of your income to needs, 30% to wants, and 20% to savings or debt repayment. When you see how much you're spending on unnecessary things, you'll realize how much potential you have to save and invest. Step 2. Pay yourself first. Most people save whatever is left over at the end of the month, and that's a mistake. Instead, flip the script. Save first, spend later. Automate your savings. Set up automatic transfers to a savings or investment account. Start small, stay consistent. Even a $50 a month can grow into a significant amount over time. Step 3. Crush debt early. Debt is the enemy of wealth. If you're carrying high-interest debt like credit cards or student loans, make it a priority to pay it off as quickly as possible. Attack the high-interest debt first. Use strategies like the debt snowball or debt avalanche to stay motivated. Let's first start with the debt snowball. This method is all about momentum. Here's how it works. First, list your debts, from smallest to largest, ignoring interest rates for now. Second, pay minimum payments on all debts except the smallest one. Third, throw every extra dollar you have at the smallest debt until it's gone. Why? Because paying off that first debt gives you a win, a surge of motivation. You then roll that payment you were making on the debt into the next smallest one, building a snowball of payments that grows larger with every victory. So why does this work? Well, it's psychological. Humans love seeing progress. Eliminating smaller debts quickly feels like winning a series of battles on the way to winning the war. But maybe you're someone who's more motivated by numbers than feelings. This brings me to the debt avalanche, a method designed for maximum financial efficiency. It basically goes like this. First, you list your debts by interest rate from highest to lowest. Second, you pay minimum payments on all debts, except the one with the highest interest rate. Third, throw all your extra cash at the high interest debt until it's crushed. Once the most expensive debt is gone, move on to the next one. The idea here is that you'll pay less interest overall and become debt-free faster, at least on paper. So why does this work? If you can stay disciplined, you'll pay off debt with the least amount of money spent on interest, a mathematically optimal approach. Avoid lifestyle debt. Don't finance things you don't need. If you can't pay for it in cash, you can't afford it. Step 4. Invest aggressively. Your 20s are the perfect time to invest because you have decades to ride out market ups and downs. Start with index funds. Low-cost index funds or ETFs are a great way to build wealth without taking on too much risk. Take advantage of employer matches. If your job offers a 401k match, contribute enough to get the full match. It's free money. Consider a Roth IRA. A Roth IRA lets your investments grow tax-free, and you can withdraw the money tax-free in retirement. This brings me to the $10 rule. Imagine every $10 you invest in your 20s could turn into $100 or more by retirement. Every decision you make, skipping that overpriced coffee, choosing to cook at home, can directly contribute to your future wealth. Step 5. Build multiple income streams. Wealthy people rarely rely on just one source of income. Your 20s are the perfect time to explore side hustles, freelance work, or even starting a small business. Skill up. Learn high-income skills like coding, copywriting, or graphic design that you can monetize. Start small. Don't overthink it. Offer services on platforms like Fiverr or Upwork. Reinvest your earnings. Use your side income to pay off debt or invest, accelerating your wealth-building process. Step 6. Invest in yourself. One of the best investments you can make in your 20s is in your own knowledge and skills. Read books. Classics like Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki or The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas Stanley will shift your perspective on money. Take courses. Whether it's online certifications or workshops, the skills you gain now will pay off for decades. Build a network. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, challenge you, and support your growth. Step 7. Embrace frugality without sacrifice. Living frugally doesn't mean you have to live miserably. It's about being intentional with your spending. Find free fun. Explore hobbies that don't cost much, like hiking, reading, or cooking. Hack your expenses. Use cashback apps, negotiate bills, and shop for discounts. Part 4. The emotional payoff of building wealth early. Let's check back in with Alex. By the time Alex turns 30, they've not only built a solid investment portfolio, but also gained something even more valuable: freedom. Freedom to travel without worrying about debt. Freedom to pursue passions instead of chasing a paycheck. Freedom to sleep at night without financial stress. Chris, on the other hand, is just starting their journey and feels the weight of missed opportunities. So what's the lesson here? Starting early doesn't just build wealth. It buys you peace of mind and the freedom to live life on your own terms. Part 5. Overcoming the challenges of building wealth in your 20s. Let's be real for a minute. Building wealth in your 20s isn't always easy. You'll face challenges, peer pressure, and moments of doubt. Dealing with FOMO. It's tough to say no when your friends are splurging on expensive trips or fancy dinners, but remember, temporary sacrifices lead to permanent rewards. Stay motivated. Celebrate small wins along the way. Every dollar saved or invested is a step closer to financial freedom. Learning from mistakes. You're going to mess up, and that's okay. What matters is that you learn, adjust, and keep going. Part 6. Imagine your future. Take a moment to picture your life 10, 20, or even 30 years from now. What do you want it to look like? Do you want to be chained to a job you hate, stressed about money? Or do you want to wake up every day with options, freedom, and a sense of control over your life? The decisions you make in your 20s will determine which path you take. The best part? It's never too late to start. But the earlier you do, the greater the rewards. Your 20s are your chance to plant the seeds of wealth that will grow for the rest of your life. Every small action you take today, saving a little extra, investing consistently, saying no to unnecessary spending, brings you closer to financial freedom. In fact, if you're serious about building wealth, we've created an entire video that will explain step by step why living cheap can actually make you wealthy if done the right way. Just click the video on the screen now, and we'll see you in the next one.